Biohazard warning. Entering contaminated zone. Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only. Backup activated. System rebooted.
Hey gents, what is going on guys? Your boy Sly here bringing you a total recap of what we know so far about the first expansion coming to the Division, which is Expansion 1, The Underground. Unfortunately, I've only been on YouTube for about 7, maybe 8 months, and with that, invitations to E3 are super hard to come by. Maybe one day, but it definitely was not this week. So with that in mind, I've made a list of everything that we know so far. That way I can put it into one video and show all of you what we know. However, I'm only going to use screenshots here. I'm not the type to use other people's videos and in turn discredit the guys who were lucky enough to get these hands-on impressions first. So I'll link the 2 main people that I've been following through E3 in regards to the Division, and since I'm out of the loop right now, they might have some more in-depth videos and knowledge that I am sorely lacking. And that, guys, is driving me nuts. But hey, what can you do? So shout out and thanks go out to Erex and Skill Up for making this knowledge available. Alright, well let's get down to this. As we all know, it is called Underground and there's a reason. Remember a few videos ago I drew attention to this right here, Urban Dungeons? Well, that is exactly what Underground is. It looks like an extension of the base of operations and it has its own progression system with levels, and certain levels give you certain rewards. Now it's important to know that these underground dungeons will run on Intel, the same type that you use for HVT, and they are acquired in the exact same way. One great thing about these missions is that they are truly random. The maps, the enemies, the objectives, all of them are different every time you load up, and with the ability to select different stages or phases, you probably will never see the same map, enemy, and objective within the same phase of that dungeon, so it's pretty awesome in terms of replayability. Alright, well within the Underground you need to head to your menu. You start on this big table to plan your operations. As you can see, this is matchmaking enabled, and from what I've seen, matchmaking for this will be far more pleasant than matchmaking for something like the Incursions. So once you go into your plan, you select your difficulty, and of course the higher you go, the better your rewards, as well as the amount of XP you earn to rank up your underground level, as you can see right here. Now it was hard to get a clean shot of this. No one really focused on this when they were at E3, and all the videos I watched all focused elsewhere, but this is at least what I can show you guys right here and what your reward will be for reaching a certain rank. That's how it'll work. So anyways, so back to this, you can see Heroic is now a new difficulty mode, and that is crazy, right? Who would want anything harder than Challenge? But anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So after you're selecting your difficulty, you go on to the number of phases you want to do. Each phase is about 15 minutes, more or less. So of course, 2 phases will take roughly 30 minutes to complete, 3 phases 45, and you can go a max of 3 phases. I'm not sure if any more will unlock after you become a higher rank, but all we saw here was 3 phases. I'm sure we'll find out more later. The next step is to select your directives, as they call it. Directives are basically modifiers. Now at first you can only use a few, but the higher you rank, the more you unlock. There are 5 total. First up, Fog of War. You can read the descriptions on the bottom of these pictures. It removes your minimap. The second is Waste Not, Want Not. Anytime you reload your weapon with the magazine not completely empty, you will lose the amount of ammo left over in your mag, and you will start with less ammo overall. After 10 minutes of gameplay, guys, I can see this becoming a huge problem. Next up, we have Mad Skills. When you use one skill, both go on cooldown. After that, we have Special Forces. Enemy NPCs can use consumable ammo against you, like explosive or incendiary ammo. That's also crazy. And finally, we have Sickness. When you take damage, you will have a damage over time through a status effect. So you can't heal, run, anything like that while being damaged. That will make things difficult. So after all those are selected, you load up all your options, your team accepts the dungeon, you walk into the next area, and then you load in. And from what I've seen, it looks like it's going to take us to places that start out in areas we've already been to. But then you'll see like a seemingly small door or a small shaft go off in a different area and end up showing off a huge area that has never been explored before. Now the enemies don't drop any items throughout the entire dungeon, but they do have chests sprinkled throughout the area in which you have to find, and then of course the final reward is the main focus here. From what I've seen, it looks challenging and rewarding. This will open up more ways to get good gear instead of the HVTs or heading into the DZ. And speaking of new gear, 4 new gear sets have been shown, and even though we all seen this coming, I'm sure, nonetheless it is still exciting. So first up, we have a gear set called Blind. What it stands for, I have no idea, but it does come with matching weapons as well, and they look to be pretty unique. So this one is pretty awesome, guys. You get a set bonus of 2 with 100% critical hit damage. Set bonus of 3, 100% blind def resistance, and then 4 pieces grants you the talent, which is the blind system. Killing a target creates a flashbang effect at that position. This can be a very, very effective tool for challenge modes. Having this in conjunction with a flashbang, you can stun your enemies for a very long time. I can see this having an awesome snowball effect. Next we have Firecrest gear set, and this sounds pretty scary, guys. Take a look at this. Set bonus of 2 is 3 extra incendiary bullet capacity. 3 set, 100% reload speed, so you can keep those incendiary bullets spraying before they run out, and then 4 pieces grants you the Firecrest talent. Killing a burning target grants you incendiary bullets automatically for 10 seconds. This is awesome, guys. Having this set up with a flamethrower, dude, I can already see the panic now. Alright, well next up we have the Frontline gear set, and I am very excited for this one actually. 2 set bonus is 300% ballistic shield health. 3 set bonus is 100% ballistic shield damage resilience, and then the 4-piece talent is Frontline. It allows the use of an SMG while using your ballistic shield. How, guys, this is insane. How insane is this? Now yes, SMGs are getting a huge change. I'll get to that in a second, but this is big, guys. Big. Finally, the last piece we're getting to is called the Reclaimer. This is a true support gear set and very powerful. 2 set bonus is 100% support station healing speed. Acquiring 3 set pieces gives you 50% extra consumable duration, and remember that it's all consumables like water, bullets, food, etc. Then the 4 set piece grants you the Reclaimer talent. Consumables and special ammo use applies to the whole group and can no longer consume your inventory. What? How awesome is this, guys? Infinite incendiary and explosive bullets, and not only that, but it'll last longer and you can keep using them back to back to back. Not to mention, did I mention they'll never run out? I think I mentioned they'll never run out, and it will automatically be applied for the entire team. This is very powerful, guys. I can see this helping out like challenge mode incursions immensely. Using water, then incendiary bullets during a tough fight, that's going to increase your DPS through the roof. Not to mention, you can keep yourself healed up faster in the meantime. Now, it's worth mentioning this is all stuff that is technically still in development. It can be changed before release. While it's probably not likely since we're so close to release, it could happen, so keep that in mind. Now, before we get into weapons, a couple quick things to mention. First, that there is a new incursion. It's around the Hell's Kitchen area, and it's called Dragon's Nest. It has something to do with the cleaners, and I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the weeks to come. Also, 2 story missions will open up for challenge difficulty, and that is the Queen's Tunnel and Hudson Yards. And while we're on difficulty, let me explain this new heroic option. So heroic is basically challenge mode evolved. It's harder than challenge mode, and on top of an insane amount of bullet sponges, they have all ramped up the AI aggressiveness. They push more, fire faster, throw more grenades, and stagger less. It will be available for the underground and the incursions as well. Now, I haven't heard if new story missions will be available or if there will be heroic difficulty for the original story missions, but I would definitely like to see that. Some practice would be nice nonetheless, but if you're looking for a challenge, guys, you just found it. Alright, well finally let's move on to the weapons, y'all. Now, so far they haven't announced any new weapon archetypes, but there are new varieties within these old categories. Like I've seen a new battle rifle that kind of shoots like an automatic marksman's rifle, pretty much a DMR. So we're getting new shotguns, new SMGs, new auto rifles, and of course I'm sure we'll see some new named weapons as well. Let's just hope they're not disappointing like they usually are. Now the hard part. Weapon balancing coming in 1.3. So, to those who are mad about the nerfing of the critical hit chance on SMGs, take a deep breath, take a seat, guys. SMGs will no longer have critical hit chance as an intrinsic perk. that is going away in favor of critical hit damage, like you can see right here. The cap is still going to be the same, however it will take more effort to reach it. Now with these new ways to increase your critical hit damage, I see this as an opportunity in my eyes, and it will be just as deadly. 60% critical hit chance is still close to 2/3 of your bullets hitting as critical hits. Now with all these new ways to increase the damage of those critical hits, we will be getting very powerful hits with one bullet. So I'm excited to see how high I can land my critical shots, especially behind a tanky ballistic shield while using an SMG. Anyways, next up we're going to talk about these auto rifles. Now everyone thought that perhaps armor damage or ignoring armor would be a good intrinsic talent for auto rifles, and the community totally nailed it. Auto rifles get enemy armor damage as an intrinsic characteristic. This combined with strikers will make ARs pretty beast, and I cannot wait to try them out. Now for whatever reason, AR enemy armor damage will not apply to agents in the Dark Zone, which is a damn shame. This new toughness never dying meta blows, and why devs are pushing this I haven't a clue. This is a lost opportunity to make ARs great if you ask me. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to shotguns, y'all. Now, if you have ever used a shotgun before in the Division, you'll sometimes notice that when you hit an enemy, or after a few consecutive hits, they'll actually stop running, stop shooting, and do this little, stumble maneuver. This is called stagger. Shotguns will now have this as their primary characteristics. I don't know how high this will go, but either way, no damage increase, which is actually kind of shocking. If they were taking away critical hit chance from SMGs, I was actually hoping that shotguns would see this, but it didn't happen. That would do shotguns a world of good, even if it was only 10 to 15%. This is another missed opportunity in my eyes. Hopefully this stagger will actually be decent. Finally, let's move on to light machine guns. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find a picture of this, but LMGs are getting a flat rate of 30% extra damage while an enemy is out of cover. This is pretty big news. Some LMGs like the LSW or the Pakan and a few others, they're almost like an assault rifle machine gun mix. Part light machine gun, part assault rifle, and those are usually the best ones to use in the Division. They hit harder with more damage, however they do have less ammo, but of course that can change. I'm willing to bet that these types will do very well in 1.3. Now the last thing to go over are talents. Unfortunately, I don't have any concrete information on these talents yet, but it is confirmed that new weapon talents are being added on top of the existing ones. I'm sure that's going to be true for armor as well. We will no doubt hear more information next week within the state of the game, and of course they'll also have a special report coming with loads of information and gameplay, so look forward to that when the time comes. But that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much everything we know about 1.3 right here. Now, I'm pretty sure that they haven't uncovered everything there is to do within the new DLC. I'm willing to bet new story missions will be opening up, adding more insight into the plan for New York City. Hopefully, the far left of the map will also open up and we can start to explore all that area on the water. Not sure, just a gut feeling, that's not confirmed, but we will have to wait and see. And that is all I got, Nation. Besides UI improvement, the bug fixes we already talked about, stash size increase and stuff like that, this is everything we know about the new expansion Underground so far. Like I said, I'm sure much more is to come, so stay locked onto Sly Nation for fresh information in the coming weeks. Follow me on Twitter at Sly Nation for new uploads from my channel, as well as a constant source for new information about gaming in general. Alright, well, that does it, guys. I'm out. Thank you for watching, and as always, thank you for letting me be a part of your gaming life. It is an absolute privilege and an honor. Hope to see you all again very soon for new Division news, but until then, this is your boy Sly. Done, gone, out.
Ammo inbound. Zone B secure.